Welcome to Be On It, episode 13.
Hey Jessica, what's going on in the beehive today?
Hi, Debbie. I was thinking about clutter, physically as well as metaphorically. I have some clutter around the house and it's just been looming over me and something that I've just been dreading to get cleared. I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it needs to be done, but it feels a little overwhelming. And I know that I just need to start in one room and just get rid of things because it'll feel really good to purge. But my husband, we'll talk about it, but we just haven't made the time. And so I know that we need to tackle it, make a plan, and get it done. It's just, we have such a big house and with all the kids' stuff, we just been doing little by little, but I just want to get it done so I don't feel like it's like on our to do list. Have you ever felt like you have a ton of clutter and how does it make you feel?
Well, I have been on a journey, and this journey in life has included amassing things. I can't really pinpoint the year that this started happening. Obviously, when you have kids, you're going to have more things than when you don't have kids, right? Their toys, their belongings, educational materials, etc., furniture. But I started buying things when the kids were toddlers, and then kind of every year, instead of switching things out, I would just keep collecting more things. And before you know it, I just was overwhelmed by the things that I had. I think along the way, I gave some things away, but when you have multiple children, you have the hand-me-down situation where you can't throw things away because you know that the next child might get some use out of it. So I have had this problem of I'm not going to say I'm a hoarder, but of having a lot of extra things, and it has become very overwhelming for me. And so I want to say this was definitely after COVID, maybe a couple years ago. I decided that I needed to start purging, and I really wanted to simplify my life. And so I looked at things online and through YouTube and started listening to some videos from minimalist people and also podcasts on minimalism. And it's been really helpful to me. How about you? Where are you in this journey of minimizing things?
So I grew up and I was very minimal.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't keep a lot of things. I kept the few things that I treasured, and I didn't always have a lot of knickknacks and clutter. Like what I had, I could easily put in a box and carry with me. So when I got married, that all changed and had kids, it all changed because obviously I would go through things, once a year or twice a year and get rid of things that the kids didn't need. But also, as the kids got a little bit older, they would see that we were trying to get rid of things and they would say, no, I still want that. So we learned we had to kind of do our getting rid of basically when they were at school because otherwise we'd just be holding on to this stuff. What do you do when the rest of your family aren't minimalist and you're the only, one that is? And life gets busy. Like I could only keep up so much with like decluttering and we got so busy with the kids' different activities that now we have this several years later accumulation of things where Matt's been pretty good about like getting rid of things in the garage. I've gotten rid of like clothes and things like that for the kids and myself, but as they get older and they're away at college, it's a little trickier because obviously I'm not going to go through their rooms and get rid of stuff without their permission. So that's something that they're going to have to do when they're home, which is not something they want to do when they're home. So it's this balance of, hey, this needs to be done and addressed, and they'll just do a few things, but it really doesn't like get rid of the majority. But then I had to think for myself, like, what can I do on my part to get rid of things on my end? That let me focus on myself rather than everybody else. Let me focus on the things that I need to clear. And I just haven't made the time to do it. It's just sitting here, and it makes me just feel so, I don't know, kind of down. It
Yeah.
just kind of feels like It's the stuff I'm hanging on to, and there's guilt from some of the things that I'm hanging on to. We just have to make a time and maybe rent a small dumpster for the things that can't be donated and just get rid of it. But like that costs money, and time wise is a little tricky because we're all busy. So I think I just need to focus on my stuff that I can control and get rid of and just do it.
I think you're right. I think that's the place to start is just focusing on your things because you have agency to decide whether you want to throw things away or keep things for yourself. And another thing is if you tell your kids to start decluttering, the thing that they will say to you is, "What about you, Mom?" I hear that. I've heard that dozens of times. So I had to really start with my own things first because I knew what I could use and I knew what I could do without. And I know. And so I have heard, I think it's from the Minimal Mom, but she calls it inventory. But it's like all these things, not only do you have them in your house and they are in your house waiting to be used or utilized, but you also have to have storage for these things because you don't want things everywhere in your living room or in your bedroom, right? It's like decluttering is the way to go. I mean, it's just like you, unless you have like all this extra money where you have all this garage space or basement space. I mean, you just can't store all these things. I can't store all these things in my house. So I only have like a 1,900 square foot house, one level. So I had my breakthrough because I was dealing with all this extra stuff, and I had a breakthrough. I had a whole collection of Tupperware.
Oh, yes.
You know how you buy the sets and they have different sizes, that come with lids? I had a lot of Tupperware and I thought I needed them for food storage. I kept moving them around my kitchen because the cabinet wouldn't hold the Tupperware because they were all different sizes. And so I just struggled with that. And then one day I did something really radical, Jessica. I literally got rid of most of them. I got rid of most of them and left maybe 10 pieces or even
Good
less
for
than that.
you.
Yeah. And it was that was the breakthrough moment for me. And that was the turning point in this journey of decluttering. Like I had it on my mind, but when I actually decluttered the Tupperware drawer / cabinet and basically got rid of a lot of things and just kept the medium-sized Tupperware containers with lids that could stack. They
Yeah.
were plastic, basically. That was so freeing. And then from that moment on, I was like, okay, this is the paradigm shift for me. This is what I need to do with this category, and this category of things.
I agree that we did that as well, especially when the kids went off to college. We looked at what our Tupperware situation was like, and it was just a mismatch of things where like somebody sent you home with something during the holidays and they're like, take this home, and it's their Tupperware. So I made sure that I got that back to them if I hadn't done so, and cleared everything out, got rid of all the cups we didn't use, and got rid of like the little kids' spoons that the
Oh,
kids still like to grab out of the. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You guys are grown. You don't need this anymore. Got rid of all those things.
yeah.
And then still find myself needing to go through it again because it's just Matt and I. We don't use some of these things. The things that are favorites of the kids, we just put in their room and they can bring back out when they're home because otherwise it's just taking up space.
I think if you declutter in your kitchen, you're going to notice it and you're going to be more willing to clean up and do more work in the kitchen. If I or the kids put dishes away, it's really easy to just get into the cabinet and put it away because there's room. I'm only keeping what I use because we're creatures of habit. And my rule is if you haven't used it in a year, it's time to go.
Living simply is much nicer.
Yeah. Well, when I think about the root cause of why, first of all, I had an Amazon membership, so it was easy to acquire things that way because you literally, with a click of a button on your phone, you would get things delivered in a couple of days, right? And then I have to look back at why was I buying these things? I felt like this would make my life easier. Or, sometimes you feel inadequate in certain ways, and so you want to buy this thing to help you get to your goal. Well, that was not a good way of thinking about things. I think that now I'm trying to be more resourceful. Do I really need this? And what can I upcycle that I already have to fit this need? I don't buy things quickly anymore. I let things literally simmer in the cart, so to speak, until I've determined that I really cannot do without this.
I kind of picked up that habit as well because I noticed during COVID, we shut down. And for me, here's where the internal thing comes in. It was kind of a hard time, right? You self reflect your home, so you see all this stuff. So I went through all my drawers in my bathroom, got rid of old makeup that I just wasn't using. It looked really great, but now I found myself acquiring again. I'm not even using all of this stuff, and it's time to go through it again. I had to really think about what it gives me. I was filling some sort of hole with buying physical things in order to fill some sort of hole to make myself feel good. And it was creating clutter and messiness. And so then I'd buy little organizing devices to house some of this stuff. And that, it still looks cluttered instead of minimizing. And so as I've gotten healthier and like healed some of my traumas, I find myself looking around going, okay, not only did I declutter inside internally, I now need to declutter the physical outside stuff to like really just get rid of these things that aren't like giving me purpose and that are just not useful. And so, yeah, I think that we all tend to internally hold on to things and not, whether it be guilt or it has memory, you attach some sort of memory to it. I'm just feeling overwhelmed that I've got too much on my shoulders to have to go through, and it just feels like I'm never going to get it done. I just need to do it little by little, declutter some of the things that were from my previous business because I had some guilt about getting rid of it, but it's expired and it's time to get rid of it and put it in the garbage. And that was money I spent, so I'm throwing away money basically. So there's that guilt. It's just time to declutter. It just make everything feel so much better, I think. I think I'll feel at peace internally, and then I'll be at peace that my house is looking the way I want it to look and not keeping all this clutter in this big house that we just don't need. It's not suiting us.
Yeah. You're going to feel so much better once you get rid of it because it's probably been hanging over your head, literally.
It really has. It's time to release it and let it go.
And you know what? I'm only maybe a couple years into this whole decluttering journey, but now I have this philosophy of like everything has its place, right? So when things are out of place or there's too much junk everywhere, it doesn't put me at ease. And so my threshold for declutter everywhere is kind of low.
I like everything in its place. I like it to look nice.
I just learned just recently too that like my husband, I put things up around on the walls of my
Yeah.
house for decor, and they usually have some sort of a reason or a function in my life, but he doesn't like that, and he says it's very like destabilizing to have all this and that everywhere. So I feel like his aesthetic is very simple and bare, and I didn't realize that.
Interesting. Okay.
And I was like, wow, okay, so all this artwork and stuff that I have on the walls, these calendars, this is very destabilizing to you? Okay, that's news to me. I don't really want to make another person in the household feel that way, but so there has to be some sort of compromise too, obviously.
Oh, I agree.
Well, have you seen the little picture ledge that I have in my house?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about that?
I thought it was sweet because you were displaying some of Bo's artwork and some of the
Yeah.
kids' artwork.
Okay. So it wasn't too bad for you then, as far as like, did it look cluttery to you?
I don't feel like it looked cluttery. It's nice that he opened up to you because if he is feeling like it's cluttery, then you guys can
Yeah.
have a whole conversation about minimalism, which is something you're trying to work on anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe he could help you figure out something that doesn't feel overwhelming and destabilizing to him and feel more balanced. So that's interesting. I'm glad he shared that with you.
Now I'm wondering because I display artwork because I want to relish or savor it until I get rid of it, and if so now, yeah, we have to have the conversation of is this okay to have? Because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable and unease at home. So that's something new that I realized.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody didn't share that with you, how would you know? But I'm glad he felt comfortable to share with you. So then you guys can kind of plan and figure out together, what do you want our space to look like? And you can always like have a artwork piece of the week or something, maybe for 1 week he doesn't
Just
mind.
yeah, or just maybe one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So it just makes me think that okay, I felt like I've decluttered this and that, but I guess I have a ways to go. I still have a ways to go. I know that, but I didn't really think that the artwork was going to be a problem. But not everybody feels that way, so I need to readdress it.
Did he grow up very minimalistic and they didn't have a lot
Uh,
of
yeah, I
artwork?
guess so. I think so. Maybe not a lot of things on the walls.
Okay.
I personally don't mind it, and I also like I have a lot of plants here and there, and I like being surrounded by life, living plants. I think I'll have to ask him if that's okay too, because it's like, goodness, there's just a different aesthetic going on here.
Yeah, I think you just have to sit down and talk about like how do you want our space to look and then come up with a plan. And it's just yeah, there's no purpose of if he's not getting comfort out of his space because it's his space too, then you obviously, because you love him, you want to make sure that you create a space that's for him as well. And I have to think about that too. My husband doesn't care what I decorate or don't decorate with, and he'll give his input and stuff, but for the most part, I'm pretty minimalistic, and he can do his office any way he wants to do his office, and I give him tips and tricks and stuff like that, and he's pretty good at vocalizing what he likes and doesn't like. But yeah, he never minds the artwork. I have some artwork that I change out because the kids like to see some different stuff for the holidays when they come home, and so I will kind of cater to that season. But for the most part, he it doesn't that's not his focus. So for
Yeah.
your husband, it sounds like that's something that he would like to see different in the house. Maybe artwork wasn't a big part of his home space, and so he's not used to that, and so maybe he has some sort of sense of like it doesn't feel like home.
So it makes me think, Jessica, that they sell these. They use them in the Montessori classrooms where it's like a picture frame, and there's things that I could just buy a frame, like uniform frames, a few of them, not a lot, just a few of them, and I can then use those to house any artwork that I display, and then switch them out, you
Yeah,
know, periodically,
yeah, you can
so it's
totally do
not
that.
overwhelming, like to the eyes.
Well, exactly. Or you could just do like a cute little wire. You know how you see hanging pictures, and you could do like little clips and just do one piece, take a picture of it that it's saved and then get rid of. I mean, I would just talk to him about it for sure. But see, there's the internal thing that's going on internally with him, what it makes him feel. And I'm glad that he shared that with you because most guys don't usually share that sort of stuff. But it's like it's interesting to see that physically when we have clutter, how it affects us internally. And I
And
don't know if that happens for everybody, but it most certainly happens for me.
I think my husband's the type of person that he's okay if it's behind a door or a cabinet. If
Oh,
it's out of, yeah, if it bothers me if it's there,
yeah, yeah.
period. But if it's behind a cabinet, it's okay.
To me, I still know it's there, and I'm like, why are we housing it behind a cabinet and never using it? It's just sitting there taking up space, and like I'll think about it, and I'm like,
Right,
no, it's got to go. Like if
right.
you haven't used it, for me, if I haven't used it in 6 months, it's got to go.
Oh, yours
And
is even shorter.
mine's even shorter, but have I done that recently? No, I sure haven't. So now that I've been like, healing traumas and in like working on things, I haven't like decluttered in probably, I don't know, a few months,
Uh-huh.
kind of let the summer go by. And so, yeah, today's the day. I need to get, rid of this stuff. and declutter and then just go from there. Like a little bit of time each day until, you can have one big day, but I think just little by little, let me do my stuff and, get it out of here. And then that'll just eliminate when we do have a big day that we're getting rid of bigger stuff.
And definitely, I mean, work on the inflow and then also the outflow. You can't keep buying stuff and decluttering every single day. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to
Right.
stop
Use what you
buying things.
have.
Yeah.
Because we are creatures of consumerism, and it's like live simply, especially if you have little kids. Get rid of those toys that no longer are, age appropriate. If they're not using it or playing with it and you need to get rid of it, do it when they're not home. I guarantee they're not going to notice. Or if you know that it's something that's super special, save it in a box for them. And I guarantee you, when you put their things that they deem as, important to them, when they start, getting their own home and moving it around, they're going to dwindle it down themselves. That's what I did personally with my box of stuff that I had when I moved out of my dad's home. I carried it with me a couple of places, and then after that I'm like, why am I holding on to this? It's memories. Let me take some pictures of it. And it's time to get rid of. So I did. I got rid of it. And at the right time that felt good to me to get rid of it.
And
But
my mom, she just recently decluttered a lot of stuff on her property.
oh good.
Yeah, and it took a lot of work. She is so happy. She is so much more happier now. And now she can actually find things. Like if you have
Right?
so much stuff and you haven't stored it properly, you can't even find the thing that you purchased a
It's
while ago.
so true.
Oh my
Have you
goodness.
ever opened a drawer and forgot you bought that? Like that's happened to me.
Yes.
I forgot I bought this spoon because I love kitchen gadgets, and I'm like, okay, I bought this with the purpose, and I haven't even used it.
A spoon? Like a long
It was
spoon?
like a stir spoon, for like
Oh yeah.
sauces and stuff. Because sometimes if you use a wooden spoon and you're using it with like a red sauce, it'll stain it. So I
Uh-huh.
wanted this other one that was silicone based. And at
Uh-huh.
the time, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this because we were, making a lot of stuff at home. Well, this summer we haven't been cooking a lot, and so it hasn't gotten used. So I opened the drawer. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. It's fall. It's gonna be fall here. I'm gonna, be using this again. But I'm like, hello. Like I haven't used it in what, 3 or 4 months? It's ridiculous. Like, don't buy things you don't need. Like, really think
Exactly.
about it before you purchase it is a good philosophy, like you were saying.
Online.
Well, if you guys enjoyed this conversation and, would like to join us again, join us next time on Be On It.
Bye.
Bye.
Just so you know, this is for entertainment purposes only. We are speaking from our lived experiences and are not licensed therapists. We are all about community. Join our community by following and subscribing to Be On It through YouTube, Instagram, and of course your podcasting platform so we can continue to bring Be On It to you.